Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the Second Amendment case that the Supreme Court is considering. I'm sure most of you guys following my channel are already familiar with it. In New York State, in order to get a carry permit, you have to show a need. Okay, and what that need is very subjective throughout the state. Like in New York City, you either have to be very rich, very famous, or have already had an attempt on your life. Okay. Throughout the rest of the state, it kind of depends from county to county. You have to, in many cases, you have to have an interview with a judge, and it comes down to, how pro or anti Second Amendment the judge is. Does he like you? Does he not like you? So it's very subjective. So the Supreme Court is considering if that's constitutional. So far, based on the line of questioning that the justices were asking the New York State lawyers, it seems like they're going to strike down the law, this carry law in New York State. Okay, now they're still going to require, I think, a permitting system, right, where you got to go get a permit. But they're going to, I think, turn New York State from a may issue state to a shall issue state, right? Shall issue state is like what we got here in Pennsylvania, where you apply for a carry permit. In my state, the county sheriff does a background check. Unless something comes up, he has to give you a carry permit. Okay, so there's no subjectivity involved. He has to give you a carry permit. Okay, so the focus of what I want to talk to you guys about today is why the Supreme Court should, as a result of this case, why they should make constitutional carry the law of the land. Right now, I know a lot of you guys watching this are going to be like, yeah, obviously, right? The Second Amendment is your carry permit. Okay, so I believe this. You guys out there watching this believe this. However, I don't think that the majority of the justices on the Supreme Court are going to feel that way. Okay, so that's just reality. We got to work with reality here. At this point in time, these justices, I don't think they're going to go along with a constitutional carry unless the point comes up that they have to make constitutional carry the law of the land because the states, the cities cannot be trusted to implement any decision that they come up with. Because the example that I'm going to use here, and there's many others, but the example that I'm going to use is a gun and ammo tax case that came up just in the last week or two in Illinois. Okay, so in Cook County of Illinois, which is basically a part of Chicago, they passed a law there, requiring a gun and ammo tax. One of the gun shops over there, basically took the county to court, and it took some time. Eventually, the case worked its way all the way up to the state Supreme Court, right? State Supreme Court. The state Supreme Court came out with a decision and said that this gun and ammo tax that you have in this county is unconstitutional. Okay, so what happened? The county, right? Instead of saying, okay, no more gun and ammo tax, what they did is they just changed the law a tiny little bit. All right, and they said, okay, we changed, different law now. We made a tiny little change so that it is now what we think compliant with what the court said. Okay, so same tax, same gun and ammo tax. They just made a tiny little tweak on the law. So the problem with this is that this gun store spent all this time, spent all this money to run this case through the courts all the way up to the state Supreme Court, right? They get their victory, right? And basically the county is now playing games, right? Now, this isn't just a one-time incident. This is something that all these anti-gun states and these cities have been doing for a very, very long time, right? There's a long pattern of this type of behavior. So for this reason, I think that the Supreme Court should say, hey, we got all these different examples here. New York State, New York City, you guys cannot be trusted to implement our decision, right? So for this reason, we're going to make constitutional carry the law of the land. because now people don't have to go to you to get their carry permit, and this is the only way that we can be sure that our decision is in fact going to be implemented. Okay, so that's the reason. That's my argument. That would be my argument to the Supreme Court why they should make constitutional carry the law of the land. Now, again, I know I agree 100%. The Second Amendment is your carry permit, but I don't think that is sellable, right, to the current justices on the Supreme Court. However, this other argument that, hey, this state over here and all other states like it, and the cities like Chicago, they're basically gonna give you the middle finger under the table, right, and do what they want. I think that is a good argument. I think that basically I think that the Supreme Court would get pissed off enough. And there's a couple of things that the New York lawyers did that I think would warrant the judges being pissed off at them. One of them is like they were trying to cite laws in New York State, New York City, going back to like the 1600s, right, before we even had a constitution, and trying to say, hey, back when New York City was New Amsterdam, they had all these gun restrictions. So again, that's playing games. Okay, so I think that the Supreme Court should not trust New York State, New York City to implement their decision. Any decision that they come out to, they have to come out with a decision that's ironclad, that has to be followed, that has to be implemented. And I think that the only thing that can be can be implemented, that we can trust that New York State will actually follow, is constitutional carry, because their hands are completely tied. They're completely out of the picture at that point. Just as a side note, nothing to do with this case, but there's another law out there that says that, hey, in order to buy a pistol, right, essentially you can only buy it in your home state. Right now, you can order it online. You can actually make the purchase in another state, right, but then it has to be shipped back to an FFL in your home state. Okay, so again, now this is a situation where you have all these states and these cities that have all these unconstitutional gun laws, right? And the people don't have a way to work around it, right? In the case of, let's say, people that live in New York State or New Jersey or Los Angeles, now they might be able to buy long guns, right, like shotguns and rifles, because they can travel outside of their state and buy those, right? But they can't do that with the pistols, because the pistols have to be shipped back to wherever their state of residence is. Okay, in my opinion, that law is also unconstitutional, because it's unconstitutional on its face value, because it's an infringement, but it allows the states and the cities to take advantage of the unconstitutional, basically to enforce the unconstitutional laws in their own states. So that's kind of like a side note, but that's my opinion on why. Going back to the original case, in the original case with regards to the New York State being what we call a may issue state, where they're in a position to decide who gets a carry permit, who doesn't get a carry permit, by making constitutional carry the law of the land. The states and the cities wouldn't be able to play games and work around the different, the Supreme Court decision that comes out. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope if you guys find it interesting, drop some comments below. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys soon.